Sex Talk.
Guys, and welcome back to the Sex Talk. This is a COVID edition talk. It's the end of summer, and I feel like a lot of people are still stuck at home, but a lot of couples are stuck at home with their partners right now. Some people aren't working, and so that's always going to be an added stress. So a lot of different things are coming up. One of the things that I often talk about with my clients, and I think is a really important part of being in a relationship, is the ability to have heart-to-heart conversations and communication that is radically honest. About a decade ago, the book came out, Radically Honest or Radical Honesty, and it spurred a lot of ideas for me, in the sense that I love honesty, because I am one of those people that I'm a terrible liar. You can always tell when I'm lying. I can't keep a lie. I'm really bad at keeping secrets, except for as a therapist, obviously I'm bound by confidentiality, but things that simmer at the seams, I'm always with exciting news, I always want to tell people. So I love honesty, and the concept of radical honesty that I liked was this idea that you show up as yourself, you're authentic, you're genuine, and that actually heals you, while also it solves a lot of problems. If someone can't take you for who you are, then you know right away that this person is not for you. So I really love the idea of radical honesty, because it really forces us to live what's real, live our truth. One of the things that they do talk about in radical honesty, though, is this idea that we are constantly lying. Not purposeful, evil, malicious lies, but that we often lie to ourselves. We lie to our partners. We lie to protect our partners. And I see this a lot. A lot of people withhold information because they think that it's going to hurt their partner. I had a client recently tell me that they withhold information from their partner if their partner's struggling and they're experiencing something nice and happy in their life. I've actually heard this a few times, people withholding the fact that things are going well for them, particularly if they know that their partner or their friend or whoever family member is struggling. They won't actually share that good, positive, information about themselves. So we censor how we show up in relationships. And what I also see is when we censor, our partners know. We think that we're shielding our partners, that we're protecting them from information that may not be easy to swallow, may be difficult, may be painful, or may make them sad, may be unnecessary. But when we do that, we not only rob ourselves of being real with ourselves and getting what we want and what we need because of who we are and where we are in life. We also rob our friends and our partners and our family members, whoever the person is that we're lying to. We rob them of making honest decisions, making informed choices, knowing who we are. We're giving them false information about us. We're showing up not 100% as who we are, and so we're actually doing more harm than good. So I really love the idea of radical honesty, and I know that it is one of the hardest things to do. My term for it is having heart-to-heart conversations, and I really, really encourage couples, partners, friends. Again, it doesn't even have to be a romantic or intimate situation. But especially if you are in an intimate romantic situation, particularly people who are trying to make their relationship work. Maybe you're coming against a wall and not sure how to take your relationship to the next level. Maybe there's sexual things, sexual conversations, or even just sexuality related things, gender related conversations, so many different things, career stuff. Having a heart to heart is about telling your partner, like, this is who I am, this is where I'm at, this is what I need you to help me with. So, for example, let's say that you want to take a job that's really important to you. Something that was really always very important to me was working in creative jobs and being able to be creative. And so a conversation like me might have gone something like this, like, hey, I really need you to know that there's this job offer that's gonna maybe not pay me as well, but it's something that I really want to do. Or maybe it's a job offer in another city, or maybe it's a job that's going to take me away from you a little bit more, but it's so important for me to do it. So that's one example. Another example is, like, maybe it's a sexual thing that you really like, a fantasy that you have, or a fetish that you have, or a desire that you really want to do or try with your partner. Absolutely important to have a heart-to-heart conversation around those. Sexual conversations can be tricky. There can be a lot harder than a conversation about your career. In sexual situations, because of the nature of sexuality and so much of it being taboo and so much of it being stuff that we just can't talk to each other about, I often encourage people to go slow, plant seeds. And so this is kind of the next element of having a heart-to-heart conversation. Setting aside time to do it. So again, like, a couple times a week might be time, or it might be like a couple times a month, where you set aside a time and you let your partner know, hey, I'd love to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you. There's some personal things about myself that I would love to share with you. Avoid saying things like, we need to talk. I had a partner a long time ago who would always say that we need to talk, and I would always be like, oh God, the other shoe's about to drop. She's gonna break up with me or whatever. Definitely say, there's some things about myself that I would love to share with you that are kind of personal, and let's set aside some time so that we can talk. So when you're doing that, you set aside some time. Remember, during these heart-to-heart conversations, they're not going to be necessarily easy. They might activate emotions for you, for your partner. So set aside a time limit on them too. 15 minutes, 30 minutes is a good amount of time. 30 minutes might be a little bit long, so 15 minutes might be all you can handle. And, say, hey, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because it's very activating, it's heavy material. Let's come back to it. And then set another time. Set that time in the future. It could be a week away, it could be a couple days away, it could be a month away, to talk about it again. So essentially, when we're having heart-to-hearts, depending on the topic, we might be needing to take it slow, plant seeds, all of these different types of things that we, depending on the type of things that we share, we want to just maintain kindness, vulnerability, and recognizing that there is a time and place for it, which is why I suggest to set aside the time to do it. Don't just blurt it out. Make sure you set aside the time to talk about it. Make sure that time is sort of, delineated. It's not going to go past 15 minutes, 30 minutes top. Make sure you balance it out with really fun, playful, lively conversations, enjoying life together and things like that, because heart-to-hearts can be heavy. And make a commitment to respect the other person. So a heart-to-heart, and where you say, I'm really in love with someone else, may not be the right way of saying it. So in other words, we find ways to be tactful with our partners, with our friends, with our loved ones when we have heart-to-hearts. So you're going to try to remember to be kind and respectful, and time and place. Don't blurt things out that that might hurt your partner. If you feel like you want to try something in the bedroom, or you want to take on a new job, great. But if your heart-to-heart conversation is about breaking up, then that's maybe a completely different conversation. Or if your heart-to-heart is about wanting to open the relationship up, that kind of falls under the sexual category. But I think that, like, planting seeds is really good. So the core of heart to heart is the idea is that you maintain vulnerability so that you can get close to your partner, and that so your partner has the opportunity to know you more, and you have the opportunity to know your partner more. And so it's kind of this growth process that I think is very powerful and can help each other grow. It's also a really great way to practice communicating. Too many people have cryptic communication, subtle messages, hints. Those are all passive aggressive, and they're never direct. Rarely are they honest, because we're afraid of hurting each other's feelings or something like that. So the key to remember is radical honesty, time and place, planting seeds, make it a limited time, be kind to one another. If something's going to be really painful, take some time out before you blurt it out and say it to your partner. Journaling is a really great way to do it. Talking with a therapist, talking even with a friend or a trusted family member before you dump some really terrible honesty onto your partner, because radical honesty can have those side effects, can hurt people. So tread carefully, make a commitment to being honest. Go out there and get that relationship that you want, live your best relationship, get the love and intimacy that you want, and even if not, at least you will have tried. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
The Sex Talk.